Nearly everything we do in life, around 95% of it, is driven by mental programs we absorb during our earliest years. That's why people born into poverty often stay poor, while those raised in wealth tend to remain successful. The foundation of our behavior is laid down before we even turn 8. During those formative years, a child's brain operates at a slower rhythm. If you were to measure brain activity with an EEG, you'd notice that the brainwaves are much slower than those of a conscious adult. These slower waves are known as theta waves. Theta is the realm of imagination. It's the reason children can host tea parties with mud pies and believe they're real. A broomstick becomes a galloping horse. In their minds, it's not pretend, it's reality. This imaginative state is also deeply hypnotic. Before a child develops conscious awareness, they absorb behavioral patterns as if under hypnosis. These early programs become the blueprint for how they interpret and respond to the world later on. Children don't learn by being told what to do. They learn by watching. They observe their parents, siblings, and surroundings, soaking in habits and social norms. Society has countless rules, and to function within it, we must follow them. But children don't need formal instruction, they simply download what they see. This concept isn't new. Robert Kiyosaki wrote about it years ago. If you grow up in a household with financial struggles, you lack the model of wealth. You might strive for success your whole life and never reach it. Meanwhile, someone raised in affluence might not even try and still succeed, because the mindset was embedded early on. Children of wealthy parents unconsciously take steps that lead to prosperity. They don't force it or even think about it, it's automatic. The same goes for those raised in scarcity. Their beliefs mirror those of their environment. We can't afford that, life is hard, who do you think you are? These ideas become internalized and shape their reality. If your mental programming tells you that life is a struggle, then most of your actions will reinforce that belief. That's why the cycle continues, poverty breeds poverty, and wealth breeds wealth. It all comes down to the mental framework you operate from. Most of our decisions are made unconsciously. Only a tiny fraction, about 5%, comes from conscious thought. That means your life unfolds largely on autopilot, even if you believe you're in control. This idea has been around for centuries. The Jesuits understood it over 400 years ago. They said, "Give me a child until he is 7, and I will show you the man." They knew that the first 7 years shape the rest of a person's life. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. The way you live, the choices you make, they're all influenced by the programming you received as a child. So how do you change that programming? You've probably read books, watched videos, attended seminars. But none of that seems to stick. Why? Because conscious learning doesn't reach the subconscious. There are only 2 effective ways to rewire the subconscious mind. One is through theta brainwave states, which occur naturally in early childhood or can be accessed through deep meditation. The other is through repetition. You can't learn to drive just by watching a video or reading a manual. You have to get behind the wheel and practice. The same goes for memorizing multiplication tables, you repeat them until they're second nature. Once something is repeated enough, it becomes embedded in your subconscious. So the 2 keys to reprogramming are theta states and consistent repetition. Personally, I prefer repetition. There's a phrase I live by, fake it until it becomes real. If you're unhappy and want to feel joy, start repeating, I am happy. Even if it doesn't feel true, you're not saying it to your conscious mind, you're speaking to your subconscious. And if the new message is repeated more often than the old one, change begins. Eventually, your subconscious accepts the new belief, and you start acting in alignment with it. That's why people use affirmations, gratitude journals, and daily reflections. The secret is in doing it every day. Repetition builds habits. Habits shape character. And character determines destiny. To install a new mental program, you must repeat it until it becomes your reality. I come from a poor background, and I've managed to rewire my subconscious. I tried the theta method many times, meditation, brainwave tuning, but it was incredibly difficult. It requires patience, focus, relaxation, and mental clarity. And when you're worried about rent or overwhelmed with ideas, sitting still is nearly impossible. So I chose a different route, affirmations. For over 4 years, I've been programming my subconscious daily with messages of joy, health, love, and success. Every day I tell myself, I am happy. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am loved. I like who I am. And I plan to keep doing this for the rest of my life. There's real power in it. Back in 2016, I used to say, I am a millionaire, even though I was homeless and earning just $30 a month. It sounded ridiculous. But my subconscious began to accept the new idea, and that led to actions that aligned with it. I kept repeating it until it became true. Of course, I had doubts. I knew it might not work. But I also knew that if I didn't try, it definitely wouldn't work. What was I risking? 5 minutes a day. That's nothing. So I don't understand people who say affirmations are pointless. What's truly pointless is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's the real waste. Subscribe now so you don't miss powerful new insights and practices. Like the video, it helps other spiritual seekers find it. And drop the word source in the comments, our shared energy signal to the universe.